Hi everyone. I know there's supposed to be a new ShitFlix episode today. I stopped by Matt's house in order to film it, and I this place is in just some major disarray here. I don't think he's been here in weeks, and I can't find him. I feel bad for leaving you guys in the middle of an episode, but do you mind if I just go real quick? Just, see if I can find him. I'm sorry. I really am. Just a minute. I'll be right back, I swear. Just 1 minute. One. Matt, are you here? Hey, Matt. You doing okay? What are you up to?
I'm waiting for them.
Waiting for who?
The bisexual schoolgirl hitchhikers.
Matt, that's not a thing.
Oh, but it is, David.
I assure you it is.
Okay, well, if you say so. We couldn't find any bisexual schoolgirl hitchhikers.
We found straight ones.
Damn it. Instead, I guess we just had to watch this movie today.
Schoolgirl Hitchhikers.
Pretty straightforward.
Though the poster lies.
Oh, so much. But let's go over this movie, point by point. Shall I give a plot just right off the bat?
Porn!
Yeah, that's the plot right off the bat.
That is the bat.
We went 10 minutes into this film with nothing happening. Nothing at all happening.
They walked into a house.
They walked into an abandoned house.
Skipping merrily along.
And then, from that point forward, it was a steady stream of softcore porn. We weren't disappointed.
It was fine until the guy showed up.
Fucking Fred. Alright, I'm gonna give him a plot.
Genius!
Alright, so in this movie, you have two girls, Monica and Jackie. Oh, by the way, this is a French film dubbed into English. So,
It's very French.
two girls, Monica and Jackie, who are hitchhiking around the general area. They find this house and they break into it because it seems
Well,
uninhabited.
really, they're hiking at first.
And I guess they hitch at some point.
I don't know. They
Maybe it was a mistranslation. Who knows? They find this uninhabited house and they break in and they start essentially having sex in the house.
because that's what people do.
Of course. But the house was not as uninhabited as they thought, as Fred, a small-time gangster and thief, was also hanging out there. He has some jewels in a safe, and he's going to deliver them to his partner in crime, B. Or Beatrice, or something. I don't know. BEA was all we knew her as.
Usually it's Beatrice.
Yeah, probably was. I could check on IMDb. So, the girls, they go downstairs. Well, Monica goes downstairs, and she sees Fred there, and she's like, it's the 70s, and she goes and has sex with him. Jackie then comes downstairs later. It's like, oh, God, did he hurt you? And she's like, no. And then it's the 70s, so they all have sex. Next day, they leave, and everyone's all happy, hunky-dory, until they realize the jewels are gone. And those two were the only ones who could have possibly have taken it. So they go and they get the girls. First, they start torturing Jackie to find out where it is by stripping her nude and hitting her with a little cane and then threatening her with branding, but not actually. Then they cut to Monica, who is seducing the guard, who is keeping her all locked away in order to get away. When she gets away, she goes and finds Detective Harry and his secretary. Then they...
Who looks like a schoolgirl even more than a schoolgirl.
Yeah. And then they go to the house and see nothing strange is going on, except for, all the strange stuff going on. There's a shootout for about 5 straight minutes while Monica is wrestling with B, trying to get control.
Nobody hits anything.
Jackie is released. She's set free, whereas Monica is now taken prisoner and is forced to tell them where the jewels are via sex with Fred, while B is watching and getting off herself. However, she doesn't know where the jewels are either. So they send back Monica, and then they're like, all right, we've run out of options. Secretary girl, you're with me. And they bring her up, and she starts having sex with Fred. What? And then she doesn't know where the...
Clothes, jump cut away.
It's beautiful. She doesn't know where the jewels are either. Nobody knows where the jewels are, and Fred's not about to have sex with Detective Harry either. So...
Then this guy,
who we haven't seen before, and I'm fairly certain doesn't have a name, walks into the house, says, what are you doing here, to Monica. He ends up having the jewels, but it turns out they were fake the whole time, so B kills Fred, and everyone leaves all happy. The ending got away from us a bit.
the shark was jumped.
Just a bit. Bisexual sex in hot 70s form.
Which beats the last mid-60s into mid-70s porno film. Closest to porno film that we came. And, yeah!
Alright, so let's talk about the characters of this film, starting with Monica and Jackie.
Now, guys, this, unlike a bunch of the movies we've done where it's been movies that have nudity in them for no necessary reason, this is a 100% softcore porn.
Not even, attempting to hide it.
Yeah, it is 100%. And the funny thing is, especially since after 10 minutes of introduction, which is actually pretty standard for pornography, but after about 10 minutes of introduction and they start having sex, they have sex 3 times before the guy even comes into the picture.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
First, one girl orgasms and then
the other one
they rest and then they have another girl have another orgasm and it's hysterical and I love it.
We were sitting there wisecracking the whole time.
Oh my god! We should have recorded us doing a riff of this movie. It was wonderful.
Oh, something I forgot to mention in the plot. There are a lot of birds.
A lot of birds.
And all these birds are warbling. We had to turn on subtitles just because it's become...
Warble.
Since we talk through films, we have subtitles on just to make sure...
So we know what's going on.
Yes, we don't want to ignore the movie. But
we come up with jokes for you.
Every time the birds noise came up, they had nightingale or something like that warbling.
Warble.
It was I don't know why warbling's such a fun word, but it always warbled.
I don't even know that was an actual word.
No, I knew it was because there's the something
warble.
There's a bird called the warbler.
A warbler.
It's beautiful.
Sounds like a Batman villain. I am the warbler. Actually, it's more like a Monty Python antagonist.
So characters: Monica and Jackie, the 2 schoolgirls who were hitchhiking.
Fred.
No, I want to talk about Monica and Jackie.
Fred.
Monica and Jackie
are girls. Fred.
They were blank slates. Yes.
All of these people were.
But Monica had a bit of a strength and much more kinkiness to her.
Yeah.
Than Jackie. Jackie just seemed like she had her hair cut and she's like, no,
Jackie just kind of went along with her.
Yeah. But Monica, she had the gun multiple times throughout it. She was essentially getting raped and was like, oh, I like it.
She went hentai. She liked it. She was weird.
It was, that's weird, and we're not going to talk about that anymore because we get in trouble when we do. Beyond that, let's talk about Fred, Mr. Scarface, because he had a scar on his face.
He was a blank slate.
He showed no emotion.
He had
Ever.
like the perfect 1970s porno stash.
Beautiful.
Like he had that shit down to a science. He looked like Sonny, and also his boss, the mean
B.
lady, she looked like Cher in a way.
B had the most amount of character out of everyone. She actually...
And that wasn't a whole hell of a lot.
And she never got naked. So maybe she was like an actual actress.
Probably. It was she was probably like a B actor that they got to be in it that was in France, like the equivalent of like getting like Vincent Price to be in your movies.
And we don't know because it's French. We don't know French films that much.
I have a very select knowledge of French films, and they're definitely not from this type of genre.
Beyond that, there was Detective Harry and a Secretary. Detective Harry's the worst detective I've ever seen.
Yeah, but that secretary was cute as hell.
I think that makes up for it, yeah.
Yeah.
God damn.
It's like, she was the cutest one in the movie for me.
And it took until the end of the movie until she got naked. And as soon as she did, Matt was like, okay.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I was like, hey, the fact of the matter is, though, I'm honest about being a bit of a sleaze, so the fact of the matter is, though, I'm being more honest than most guys, ladies.
I cared about these girls on a personal level.
No. But at the same time, though, I don't view the people as objects. I'm like, yeah, that's a pretty nice smut.
Yeah.
My respect to you, ladies.
Let's go with writing.
Because I couldn't do that shit, man. I don't have the gall for it.
Yeah. Who would take off their shirt on video?
A lot more than that, buddy boy.
Who would...
You haven't experienced the utter horror that is the smell of a porno set.
On that note, the writer.
Non-existent. I think half of this shit was improv.
Half of this shit was just them making out.
There was no script.
I mean, there was a script. It had a general...
It was so, like, it had, like, barely words enough to equate to, like, conversations.
If every single time that they had sex or made out or just seduces was boiled down to a single line saying that they did that, they didn't have any, like, blocking within it.
Go on.
I guarantee the script wouldn't be any longer than 20 pages.
I don't think the script is actually longer than 20 pages.
Yeah, it's...
Because think about how long the sex scenes are in this movie.
It makes up at least a third. Possibly more.
I'm thinking more.
I'm
thinking closer to half, to be honest.
And that's including the sex that's actually for the plot. Like the rape scene.
The majority of the sex obviously occurs in the first half of the movie because that's the time in the movie theater where the people would just, wank and then just leave.
Oh, that was the other thing. Ending credits.
There were none.
There was no ending credit at all. That might be a French thing. That might be a 70s thing. I'm not sure.
I don't know. It's happened. I've seen it before.
But they had all the opening credits. Mm. But it wasn't any longer than opening credits normally would be.
There's a lot more people than that who worked on this movie.
I don't know. I looked at the IMDb when we were looking up the cinematographer. Talk about the cinematography while I get to it.
Well, the cinematography was...
No, you gotta imagine that editing, though.
No, the cinematography is not the editing, though. The cinematography in and of itself is not bad, but at the same time, it's not... It was a lot of very basic shit that you see, but the editing is what made everything unbelievably, like, mindfuckery. Like, you get, like, an epileptic seizure from some of these cuts. But at the same time, though, it's not like Desaad, which went, like, all surrealist for it.
No, this was straightforward as hell.
But at the same time, though, like, and also, like, some people's clothes would jump cut away, like, in the span of, like, half a second. And it's kind of silly, but at the same time, it's like, okay, hello.
I counted up the amount of people that are listed on the cast and crew on this movie, and it comes out to be, unless people are repeated, which I can't tell, I was just counting up the numbers, 17 total people worked on this movie.
That's only the people that were credited, though.
Sure.
I mean, because at the same time, though, I have asserted, and also other people have asserted in the past.
It says uncredited, so they even have the uncredited people.
Don't know.
I don't think a lot of people worked on this movie.
Well, also, I don't know either. I don't think so either. But at the same time, though, as I've declared in the past, and also other people have declared, is like it's IMDb is in a way a little bit of a glorified Wikipedia. So, like as I've said, like that, there's 1313 films out there that are not on IMDb.
All right.
But I have found evidence of them elsewhere.
I want to talk about that oh-so-glorious editing that was in those sex scenes. No, not that. That, I don't even think that really happened all that much. It was still most of the time. The ones
No, I know.
about,
I'm just talking about like cut.
It was a problem. Not even cut. It was
Or
cut,
then
cut.
But then it would go cut, and not cut for like 5 minutes just to focus on a girl's ass.
But yeah, during some of the earlier sex scenes, like when Monica is first having sex with Fred, it just intercutted every time that they either like ran out of film or they just needed to change the
Jackie
or something.
just sleeping.
It just cuts to Jackie in her bed sleeping.
I think that's
she
when
doesn't
they
even stir. She just.
Well, part of me thinks because of the camera they were using, because sometimes some cameras only could record for a certain amount of time at a time. So they might have been using cameras that could only record for like a minute or so at a time before they had to change the reel.
Entirely possible.
And, I mean, was it Manos the Hands of Fate was shot on one that was only able to shoot like 30 seconds at a time. So I'm like, he shot a whole goddamn movie on that thing. But still.
So yeah, it was very jarring editing. Like if it just cut to another shot, like another angle of them having sex, I think that'd be more okay than just cutting to Jackie being asleep.
Well, that's what I was telling you before. I have no doubt that there is an actual hardcore version of this movie out somewhere that actually has like the legitimate aspects of the porn. Because considering how short the movie is,
hour 14.
Yeah, I mean, like even by 70 standards, they still went for feature length because it was able to sell. And even though this was still during a time where in America, pornography was not an industry that was outside of illegal activities. But in France, that was not how things were.
Which we should mention. There was
some great porn came out in the 70s
There
in
was
France.
a freeze frame bonus in this movie, strictly for us, in a scene when Monica is trapped in a car by the captive. She manages to escape. And she goes to the glove box, and she gets a gun. And inside the glove box is a certain book. What book? Justine by Marquis de Sade. Now, if you haven't seen 2 episodes ago, that was de Sade. And we mentioned this book by name. I paused it just because I wanted to see what it said on the book. And it happened to be Marquis de Sade.
And this book itself.
How much of a crazy coincidence is that? And I don't know if it really fit the theme of the story, though, because they weren't really BDSM at all.
There was one scene where she was getting whipped.
Yeah, but
that was more of actual torture and not torture for sexual satisfaction.
No, that was just...
They got sexual satisfaction afterwards.
There was the scene... Oh, there was the scene where Monica was getting raped. Does that technically count? Because not only was she getting off from it, Fred was obviously getting off from it, and B was getting off from the window.
To be honest, actually, I mean, and don't take this the wrong way, people, but from the way that the movie was shot, it didn't look like he was forcing himself on her.
Oh, no.
It looked like they were just fucking...
She said in the thing,
go on.
I like it. Yeah, she's go on. I like it.
I like this kind of torture. I'm like, oh shit, they predated 50 Shades. Everything predated 50 Shades. There was shit you don't even want to know about that came out of the 70s in the United States. Have you ever heard of hardcore?
Anyway, last thing that we need to talk about is the music choices in this movie. Oh my god, it was glorious. You had 5 tracks total? They looped the same minute-long track as many times as it took, and even then, maybe not even that long. There was
cutting in and out.
There was nice, peaceful flute music. There was sexy saxophone music. There was Dixieland march music.
Yeah.
There was Soldiers March.
There was sexy music. There was just
that was
music.
Sexy saxophone.
Well, no, there was music also that was just called sexy music.
No, that's what it was. It was just called sexy music, but it had the sax.
Well, no, there was one that was called sexy sax music.
Well. Yeah,
sexy jazz music, yeah.
So I guess that's the 5th one.
So yeah, there's sexy jazz music and sexy music.
It's different.
What makes music sexy?
That's philosophical. I'm not getting into that.
It's music theory, I suppose, and I don't know a goddamn thing about it.
So, But the problem that it had was it was just so jarring. Some of the song choices they used, especially the Soldiers
The
March
Arabic
one.
music.
That, oh my god!
Just cut in for whatever reason.
They only played it one time. And it was while
For
she
like
was
10
seducing the
seconds.
guard. And she was like hand down her shirt, just like other hand down her pants. And I was like, just playing some Middle Eastern
Hair
music.
going back and forth.
Hair going back and forth.
I whip my hair back and forth.
And then stop. Go to a different sexy song. What?
I guess that's all the rights they had for that song.
Guess so. Move along.
10 seconds, go.
And then some of the times it was used for effect. Like sometimes they tried knocking out the person.
That was great.
When she was just hit him in the head with the boss. Music just cut right then as soon as he's hit.
Which
And
was
it
great.
Moves on with the rest of the movie. It was beautiful.
But, I mean,
Go on with final thoughts.
Just
This
pretty
is
much
so basic.
yeah, like this movie is like, it was all sex scenes. So there's not really that much to critique. Like the sex scenes were very standard for a softcore porn. And yes, there are standards for softcore porn. You know, and I'm a critic after all.
That's softcore porn.
I've debated whether or not pornography is art. I have the right to critique pornography. But otherwise, this is a movie that's pretty basic. And toward the end, the sex scenes, I'm like, all right, get it over with. It's done. All right, come on. Yeah, just like, you're just rubbing your face in her tits. All right, thank you for that.
Okay, you done.
Yeah, that's
All
it.
right.
That's all this movie is. And whatnot. Boobs, butts, and bushes.
I don't know. As for me, was it competently made? Yes. It wasn't terrible. I think when they were filming it, I think it had a much greater vision. Then the editor got a hold of it and kind of went downhill with the music and the editing choices. The acting was just emotionless. They weren't putting anything. It's like, put the gun down, Fred.
Stop.
B was the only one who put in any effort. That and the guard, the assistant, because when he had to sprint out of that gunfight, he was just he was gone.
Bye, boss.
He didn't come back.
Last check's in the mail.
So yeah, and really when it came down to the porn, it was surprising how far they went in some of the shots for softcore. I mean, yeah, when it comes down to porn, it's porn. But with softcore, you expect, I don't know, especially because it was R-rated at that. This movie was rated R. I mean, it was old version R, which was different, but still. Would I tell you to watch this movie?
Facade is rated X.
It's weird. Would I tell you to watch this movie? Not with anyone. If you want to watch it, it is going to be strictly for a mild sexual satisfaction. But if you're looking at it to get off, there are many better things to do it with. It's the internet, people.
Try Pornhub.
We can't sponsor yet.
Well, hey, Pornhub, we'll take sponsors.
All right, and besides that, that's all I think of Schoolgirl Hitchhikers. Matthew!
David?
My boner's reinvigorated.
Mine is always invigorated.
That sounds like a problem.
Yeah, I get my blood clots removed every 1 week.
Okay. Why don't we go try to find those schoolgirls again?
Absolutely.
All right. I'm so fucking horny.
I know. We know.